Have you ever wondered why some women seem to face the universe's toughest challenges, yet emerge with unshakable strength? If you're a Sigma female, or you know one, you already get it. Your path isn't easy. It's not meant to be. This video unveils 8 divine trials that shaped the unbreakable soul of every Sigma female. Because the pain you carry, it's not punishment, it's purpose. Sigma females don't follow the crowd. You move differently, you think deeper, you love harder. And because of that, life hits you harder too. You face silence where others find applause. You walk alone where others walk in groups. But that's not a flaw. That's how your strength is born. People misunderstand Sigma females all the time. They call you cold when you're just protecting your peace. They say you're too independent when you've just learned to trust yourself. They think you're distant, but really, you just don't settle for surface-level connections. Society doesn't know what to do with women who don't need validation, and that's exactly what makes you stand out. Let's find out one. Refined like fire. Gold only shines after it's burned. Sigma females are the same. Every heartbreak, every setback, it's shaping them, not breaking them. A Sigma female doesn't crumble when life tests her. She transforms. She knows that pain isn't a signal to stop. It's a sign she's evolving. When everything seems to fall apart, she doesn't just sit there and wait for rescue. She picks herself up, wipes her tears, and starts building again, stronger, wiser, and sharper than before. That's the thing about Sigma females. They don't run from the fire. They walk straight through it. And every time they do, they come out more defined, more focused, and more fearless. Fire doesn't destroy them. It refines them. The flames burn away the false parts, the fears, the doubts, the insecurities, and leave behind only truth. It's that truth that makes them different. While others chase comfort, a Sigma female embraces growth, even when it hurts. Because deep down, she knows growth and pain are twins. You can't have one without the other. Every betrayal, every disappointment, every lonely night is fuel for her rebirth. People see her strength and think it's natural, like she was just born with it. But no, her strength was earned, built, forged in silence, while no one was watching. Sigma females have faced rejection from people they gave everything to. They've been underestimated, doubted, and overlooked, but instead of letting it harden their hearts, they used it as firewood. Every no they heard became the reason they kept going. Every failure turned into a lesson. Every loss became a layer of armor. The beauty of a Sigma female's strength is that it's quiet. It doesn't scream for attention. It's calm, steady, and deep, like fire glowing under the surface. She doesn't need to prove her worth to anyone. She's already proven it to herself through everything she's survived. And maybe that's why her energy feels different. It's not built on ego or validation. It's built on endurance. The fire she's walked through taught her how to stand alone, how to rebuild from ashes, how to keep faith when everything falls apart. That's what makes her so magnetic. People can sense that she's been through storms, but never lost her light. She's not afraid of chaos anymore, because she's learned that every time the world tried to break her, it was actually refining her soul. So when life throws her another challenge, she doesn't panic. She pauses, she breathes, she listens. She knows the fire isn't there to destroy her, it's there to reveal her. Every Sigma female carries a quiet knowing that pain is not the end of her story, it's the start of her transformation. And when the fire fades and the smoke clears, what's left is not the same woman who walked in. She's stronger. She's softer in the right ways, and tougher in the places that once broke. That's the sacred process of being refined like fire. Pain doesn't just make Sigma females survive, it makes them shine. Look, if you've ever felt like life just keeps throwing you into the fire, hit that like button right now, because you know this struggle is real. And if you've been refined through pain like this, comment with a fire so I can see all my Sigma queens holding it together. 2. Purpose in the pain. A Sigma female's pain isn't random. It's her teacher. It's showing her what she's made of and who she's meant to become. Every single hardship carries a message, And a Sigma female knows that nothing in her life happens by accident. When she's hurt, betrayed, or left alone, she doesn't just see it as bad luck. She sees it as a lesson written by God. Pain becomes her classroom, and every tear teaches her something new about herself. It teaches her patience when things don't move fast enough. It teaches her compassion when she sees others hurting too. It teaches her faith when the road ahead makes no sense. Sigma females have a way of turning pain into purpose, of making meaning out of the mess. They don't let heartbreak destroy them, they let it shape them. They don't waste their suffering, they use it. Every dark moment becomes part of the story that turns into their strength. When everyone else would give up, a Sigma female asks, "What is this pain trying to teach me?" And that question changes everything, because once you start seeing pain as a teacher, not an enemy, you stop running from it. You start growing through it. For a Sigma female, every struggle pushes her closer to her higher purpose. She starts understanding her boundaries, her values, her worth. She learns what she'll tolerate and what she won't. She learns that peace is more valuable than popularity. She learns that not everyone deserves her time, her energy, or her love. That's the purpose hidden inside the pain. It filters her world until only truth remains. And yes, it's hard, it's heavy, it hurts like hell sometimes, but that hurt is sacred. It's the fire that shapes her into who she's supposed to be. While others see pain as something to avoid, Sigma females see it as a calling. It calls them to rise, to evolve, to step into their divine strength. And that's why they carry themselves differently. They've been through things that would break most people, yet they walk with grace, not bitterness. That's not luck. That's wisdom earned through pain. A Sigma female doesn't need a perfect life to be at peace. She's learned to find peace inside the chaos. She's learned to trust that every season, even the hard ones, is working for her good. Pain gives her direction. It shows her what matters and what doesn't. It strips away the fake and leaves behind what's real. Every heartbreak teaches her how to love better. Every loss teaches her how to let go. Every failure reminds her that success isn't about never falling, it's about rising anyway. The purpose in her pain is growth. It's awakening. It's the quiet strength that turns scars into stories and stories into light for others. So when pain knocks on her door again, she doesn't fear it. She listens, she learns, she grows. Because a Sigma female knows pain doesn't come to destroy her life, it comes to reveal it. 3. Strength through endurance. You've learned to stand when others crumble. You don't quit, you adapt. That's your quiet superpower. Endurance is what separates a Sigma female from the rest. It's not that life treats her gently. Actually, it's the opposite. She's faced storms that would have broken anyone else, but somehow she still stands. Not because she's invincible, but because she refuses to give up. That's the thing about Sigma females. They bend, but they don't break. They fall, but they don't stay down. Every setback teaches them how to rebuild faster, smarter, and stronger. Their strength isn't loud or flashy. It's quiet, steady, and built over time. It's the kind of strength that grows in silence, when no one's watching, when everything feels impossible, and yet they keep going. That's endurance. It's the ability to move forward when the world says stop. Sigma females understand that endurance isn't about never feeling tired or scared. It's about showing up anyway. They've cried through nights of doubt and still faced the morning with courage. They've been told they couldn't do it and did it anyway. They've walked through disappointment after disappointment, not because they enjoy pain, but because they know the only way out is through. Endurance teaches them patience. It reminds them that strength isn't built in comfort. It's built in resistance. Every challenge adds another layer of grit. Every hard season stretches their spirit a little more, giving them the kind of resilience that can't be faked. Sigma females don't wait for easy days. They create peace in hard ones. They know that life doesn't slow down for anyone, so they learn to keep pace with pain. They don't let setbacks define them. They let them refine them. That's why they can walk through chaos and still keep their calm. Because they've trained their hearts to trust the process, even when the path makes no sense. Endurance becomes their armor. It shields them from hopelessness, from fear, from the urge to quit, and it gives them perspective. When they look back, they realize how many times they've survived what once seemed impossible. That memory fuels them. It whispers, "You've made it before. You'll make it again." The strength of a Sigma female doesn't come from never falling apart. It comes from learning how to gather her pieces and keep moving. She knows that every time she chooses to endure, she's building the muscle of faith, discipline, and courage. Endurance is her quiet rebellion against defeat. It's how she turns pain into power and pressure into peace. It's why she can walk alone and still hold her head high, because she knows the journey may be long, but she was built for distance. She doesn't sprint, she sustains. She doesn't chase, she trusts. She endures because she knows something powerful. Storms always pass, but what's built through them lasts forever. And that's her secret strength, the kind that grows stronger with every hit, every loss, every silent victory. That's endurance, and that's the heart of a Sigma female. So here's the thing. Sigma females keep moving even when no one else would. Seriously, if you feel me on this, smash that like and don't forget to subscribe, because we're just getting started and you don't want to miss the next point. Endurance isn't easy, but it builds something no one can take away. 4. Deeper reliance on God. When everyone walks away and silence becomes their only company, that's when their connection with God grows stronger. It's in those quiet, empty moments, when the world feels distant and heavy, that Sigma females find themselves looking up instead of around. There's no applause, no recognition, no one cheering them on, and sometimes not even anyone to talk to. That's the moment when they start to realize that real strength doesn't come from approval or attention. It comes from something higher, something eternal. They begin to see that the struggles they face, the loneliness they endure, and the pain that feels unbearable are not random. They are part of a larger plan that they may not fully understand yet. It's this sense of purpose, even in darkness, that starts to pull them closer to God. Sigma females don't just seek comfort in faith. They discover the depth of it, layer by layer, like a hidden reservoir inside themselves that they never knew existed. Every sleepless night spent questioning life, every tear shed in private, every moment of doubt becomes an opportunity to surrender fully. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing the illusion of control and trusting that there is a plan far bigger than their own understanding. They don't plead for their problems to vanish. They don't bargain for easier paths. They ask for courage, patience, and resilience. And with each prayer, they grow quietly stronger, building a spiritual backbone that doesn't bend under pressure. They learn to rely on God not as a last resort, but as a constant companion who never leaves, who never judges, who never falters. When disappointment comes, instead of lashing out or withdrawing further into bitterness, they turn inward and upward, recognizing that the divine is already at work in their life. It's in this ongoing, intimate dialogue with God that they find clarity, wisdom, and a kind of peace that the world cannot give. Sigma females understand that life isn't about avoiding storms, but learning to navigate them with grace, faith, and unwavering trust in a higher power. Their connection to God becomes both shield and guide, helping them make decisions with discernment and confidence, even when every external voice tells them otherwise. They learn that surrender is strength, that prayer is not just words but alignment with divine will, and that faith is not passive waiting but active endurance. Over time, what begins as quiet moments of loneliness transforms into a powerful, sustaining source of resilience. And this reliance is not fleeting. It becomes a permanent part of who they are, shaping every thought, every choice, and every action. Sigma females don't just pray, they surrender. They don't ask for easier days, they ask for stronger hearts. They trust that God sees the whole picture, knows the depth of their endurance, and will guide them toward a life that reflects their unique strength, purpose, and unwavering spirit. In this divine connection, pain is transformed into wisdom, solitude becomes a sanctuary, and their soul becomes unbreakable. 5. Tested, then trusted. God doesn't hand his biggest missions to just anyone, not to those who shy away from challenge, not to those who crumble under pressure, and certainly not to those who need constant validation. The truth is, the most important tasks, the ones that shape lives and leave a lasting impact, require strength, patience, and a soul that has been tempered through fire. That's why he tests his strongest soldiers first. Sigma females fall into this category because they have the resilience, the courage, and the quiet fortitude that others lack. These tests are not random or meaningless. They are intentional, precise, and designed to push them to their limits. Life throws storms, heartbreaks, betrayals, moments of isolation, and crushing disappointments. And each one is a step in the process of proving that they are capable of carrying more than most could even imagine. They are tested not because they are weak, but because God knows their capacity for strength. Every trial, no matter how painful, is a form of preparation, a rehearsal for the larger mission that awaits them. And make no mistake, Sigma females get tested hard. They face situations that challenge their patience, stretch their endurance, and question their very sense of self. But it's in these moments of extreme pressure that they learn who they really are. They discover that their spirit is unshakable, their heart is steadfast, and their determination cannot be broken. The world may not recognize the battles they fight in silence, but God does. He watches as they navigate hardship with grace, as they rise after every fall, as they keep moving forward even when the weight feels unbearable. And it is this constant proving of themselves, this persistent endurance, that earns them the trust of the divine. Being tested is not a punishment, it's a sign of potential. Every obstacle, every setback, every lonely moment is a form of initiation. They are being prepared to carry responsibilities and missions that require extraordinary strength. Sigma females understand this instinctively, even if they don't always see the full picture. They feel the weight of the tests, but they also feel a deeper sense of purpose in enduring them. Over time, what once felt like hardship transforms into evidence of their capability. They are no longer just surviving. They are being readied for impact, for influence, and for a life that demands more than ordinary courage. And when the testing is complete, when the trials have polished their spirit, when their endurance has been proven, God trusts them with what truly matters. He knows they can carry what others cannot. Their soul has been refined, their strength has been measured, and their resilience has been proven. Sigma females don't just pass these tests, they rise through them, emerging stronger, wiser, and ready for the missions they were always meant to handle. In every trial, in every challenge, in every moment of doubt, the truth remains. Being tested is the first step to being trusted, and Sigma females are living proof of that divine process. Sixth, story becomes medicine. Sigma females often carry wounds that feel invisible to the world. Pain, heartbreak, rejection, and loneliness shape their lives, but over time, those very experiences transform into something greater than themselves. Their story becomes medicine, not by choice, but by design. Every tear they shed, every night spent in silence, every moment of doubt or despair slowly builds a narrative that others can learn from. Life doesn't just happen to them, it happens through them, creating a roadmap for anyone who struggles, anyone who feels unseen, anyone who doubts their own strength. When they share their journey, even quietly, it has power. Someone else's brokenness finds healing in the honesty of their experiences. Someone else's fear is replaced by courage because they see that surviving, truly surviving, is possible. Their story becomes a blueprint of resilience, a guide to navigating storms without losing one's soul. Pain, once heavy and isolating, turns into a tool that benefits others, a medicine no pharmacy can produce. And the beauty of it is that Sigma females don't have to force it. They don't need to perform or make their life look perfect. They just need to exist fully in their truth, and the impact is automatic. Someone hears a single line they've spoken, reads a story they've written, or notices the quiet strength they carry, and it sparks something transformative. That's the power of lived experience. It's raw, unfiltered, and infinitely relatable. The mistakes they made, the choices that seemed wrong at the time, the moments of fear, All of it contributes to a story that can save someone else from despair. And this doesn't just help others, it circles back and strengthens them too. By seeing their pain turn into something useful, Sigma females feel purpose in the very struggles that once threatened to break them. Their hardships gain meaning, their scars become proof of survival, and their journey transforms into legacy. It's not about fame, recognition, or applause. It's about the quiet impact of one life lived fully, authentically, and courageously. Even small actions, a conversation, a shared post, a vulnerable confession, can resonate with people in ways they'll never fully know. That's why their story becomes medicine, because it heals without needing fanfare, because it teaches without lectures, because it comforts without words. It demonstrates strength without forcing it, courage without exaggeration, and hope without demand. Every chapter of their life, no matter how painful, contributes to a cumulative effect that helps others rise. In this way, Sigma females are natural healers, not by profession, but by experience. Their existence, their endurance, their unwavering commitment to living authentically becomes a gift to the world. Pain, once feared and dreaded, is transformed into something sacred. Their story doesn't just matter, it saves, uplifts, and empowers. Sigma females learn that the life they live, exactly as it unfolds, has purpose beyond their own understanding. It becomes medicine for the broken, guidance for the lost, and a beacon for those still finding their way. Pause for a sec. If you've ever turned your pain into something meaningful for someone else, comment below with a heart emoji. And while you're at it, hit subscribe so you can stay part of this Sigma journey. Your story is powerful, and it's exactly what makes Sigma females so rare and strong. 7. Identity over validation. Sigma females have learned early on that the world is full of opinions, expectations, and pressures that don't serve their true selves. People will always try to define them, categorize them, or tell them who they should be. But Sigma females don't live for approval. They don't chase validation or recognition because they understand that real strength comes from knowing yourself, not from being seen or accepted by others. Their identity is internal. It isn't dependent on likes, compliments, or social applause. They don't measure their worth by the number of friends they have, the attention they receive, or the validation others provide. Instead, they build their self-image from within, grounded in values, integrity, and personal standards. This focus on identity over validation allows them to move through life with clarity and purpose. They don't waver based on trends, criticism, or judgment. They understand that living authentically requires courage, and that sometimes it will make them appear different or even intimidating to others. But difference doesn't scare them, it empowers them. Sigma females embrace their uniqueness, their quirks, and even their shadows, because they know these aspects define who they truly are. When the world expects conformity, they choose authenticity. When society praises the loudest voices, they listen to their own. This internal compass gives them freedom. They don't have to perform or pretend. They don't have to dress, act, or speak a certain way just to fit in. They carry themselves with quiet confidence because their identity is unshakable. Other people's opinions might sting, but they don't dictate who they are. Every choice they make, every boundary they set, every decision to walk alone if necessary, reinforces their commitment to self. This independence of spirit attracts respect, curiosity, and admiration from others. But that's never the goal. The goal is alignment, being true to their soul, even when it's uncomfortable or unpopular. Sigma females understand that seeking validation is a trap. It leaves them dependent, restless, and always wanting more. True empowerment comes from being anchored in identity, not from being praised or accepted. By prioritizing self over social approval, they cultivate resilience, emotional stability, and a sense of peace that outsiders rarely comprehend. Their authenticity becomes magnetic. People are drawn to the rare confidence of someone who doesn't bend to fit in. And this focus on identity over validation isn't arrogance, it's wisdom. It's recognizing that their value is inherent, not earned. Sigma females move through life aware of who they are, what they stand for, and what they won't compromise. They don't allow criticism to shake their foundation, nor do they rely on compliments to fuel their confidence. Their soul becomes their measure, and that is liberating. Living this way is not always easy. It requires discipline, reflection, and self-awareness, but the reward is immense: freedom, clarity, and the ability to rise above fleeting trends and shallow opinions. Sigma females prove again and again that identity over validation is not just a principle, it's a lifestyle. It defines their strength, guides their choices, and sets them apart as women who walk their own path with unwavering purpose. 8. Glory through rising Sigma females have a way of turning every fall into a rise. They don't just endure hardship and move on. They use it as fuel to elevate themselves higher than before. Every setback, every betrayal, every moment of despair is an opportunity to rise stronger, wiser, and more aligned with their purpose. Life hits hard, but Sigma females hit back, not with anger or revenge, but with resilience and grace. They understand that true glory is not about never falling. It's about how you stand up after you do. It's about taking the pieces of your broken moments and building something magnificent from them. Each rise becomes proof that they are unbreakable. People often see the polished, composed exterior and assume it came easily, but they don't see the private struggles, the late nights, the inner battles. That's the essence of glory through rising, the triumph that follows trials. Sigma females learn that challenges are temporary, but the lessons and growth are permanent. Every time they rise, they redefine their strength. They don't just recover, they evolve. Their experiences sculpt their character, shape their soul, and teach them that nothing in life is wasted. Even failure has a purpose when it drives them forward. They come to understand that rising is not a solo act. It's a reflection of everything they've endured and survived. The pain they once feared transforms into a ladder, each rung a milestone of courage, patience, and endurance. Glory isn't handed to them, it is earned quietly and persistently, one rise at a time. And with each rise, they inspire others. People watch, learn, and are motivated by the example of someone who refuses to stay down. Sigma females understand that their resilience is contagious, that their ability to rise lifts others even without trying. They also know that rising is not about showing off, it's about integrity, purpose, and alignment with their own journey. They rise because it's necessary, not for applause. Every obstacle they overcome reinforces their identity, strengthens their faith, and confirms their worth. They carry the scars of past battles as symbols of victory, not shame. And with each new challenge, they rise again, proving that setbacks are not endings, but beginnings of greater strength. Glory through rising is both a personal and spiritual triumph. It teaches patience, humility, and perseverance. It reminds them that no matter how dark the moment, the light of their resilience can't be dimmed. Sigma females embody this lesson every day. Falling is inevitable, but rising is a choice. Choosing to rise repeatedly, intentionally, with faith and courage, is where their true power lies. It is their rise that defines them, shapes their legacy, and cements their unshakable spirit. Glory through rising is not just survival, it is a declaration of strength, a testament to their unwavering resolve, and proof that the toughest pain can create the strongest souls. 9. Light through shadows. Sigma females often walk through darkness alone, carrying burdens that others can't see. Life doesn't just throw challenges at them. It sometimes feels like the shadows themselves are testing their resolve. But here's the thing. It's in the shadows that their light becomes brightest. They learn that the hardest moments aren't meant to define them. They're meant to illuminate the strength, wisdom, and beauty that already exists within. Every time they face uncertainty, fear, or rejection, they discover a deeper part of themselves. That discovery isn't loud or flashy, it's quiet, steady, and undeniable. The shadows don't diminish them. They give them contrast, showing just how powerful their light truly is. Sigma females become beacons in the darkness, not because the world asked them to, but because rising from struggle naturally creates radiance. This light isn't about being perfect or flawless. It's about authenticity, honesty, and resilience that shines even when the night feels endless. They learn to navigate life's difficulties with clarity and grace, understanding that even in solitude, they carry a spark that can guide them and inspire others. When everyone else seems lost or overwhelmed, Sigma females demonstrate that rising through adversity is not just possible, it's transformative. They teach that shadows aren't enemies, they are teachers. Every painful experience, every rejection, every moment of despair becomes a lesson in resilience, patience, and perspective. Their shadows don't consume them, they shape them, sharpen them, and reveal their inner brilliance. And this light isn't just for themselves, it reaches others. People around them, friends, strangers, even those who never knew their struggle, feel the influence of a Sigma female who walks through darkness with purpose. Their journey becomes a lighthouse for anyone who is struggling to find hope. They embody the truth that challenges don't diminish worth. They magnify it. The world may never fully understand the depth of what they endure, but that's irrelevant. Sigma females rise not for recognition, but because their soul's light demands expression. They realize that life's harshest moments are also its most revealing. Darkness isn't a punishment, it's a mirror reflecting what's strongest inside them. And as they step into their light, they inspire courage, self-belief, and perseverance in ways that words alone could never convey. Sigma females understand that light through shadows isn't a momentary victory, it's a lifelong practice. Each struggle faced, each fear confronted, each heartache survived adds layers to their radiance. By embracing both darkness and light, they become whole, unbreakable, and undeniably extraordinary. Their existence proves that even in the harshest conditions, the soul can glow with unmatched brilliance. They carry the truth that light is most beautiful when it rises from the shadows, and in that truth their strength, wisdom, and grace are immortalized. Sigma females are living proof that shadows are not the end. They are the birthplace of extraordinary light, a light that shines brighter because it was forged through struggle, courage, and unwavering faith. You know what's wild? The world rarely claps for the quiet fighters. People rarely notice the ones who endure in silence, who face heartbreak without a word, who push forward when no one is watching, who keep their composure when the pressure is crushing. But heaven does. God sees every tear you cried in silence, every moment you held it together when no one even noticed, every night you stayed awake thinking the weight would crush you. That's not weakness. That's divine strength. Every trial, every lonely moment, every pain you felt deeply was shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable than you realized. Sigma females live their lives carrying battles no one else can see, and that endurance doesn't go unnoticed in the eyes of God. You've stayed committed to your values, to your integrity, to yourself even when the world seemed indifferent. You've fallen and risen again, silently proving that resilience is not loud, but it is unshakable, and someday you'll look back and realize every painful chapter was preparing you for your purpose. You'll understand that each heartbreak, each betrayal, each test of patience and faith was a step in the divine plan, carefully designed to mold you into the woman you are meant to be. Those moments that felt endless, that made you question yourself, that made you feel alone, were all building something unbreakable inside you. You will see how experiences refined, their identity solid, and their purpose clear. The world may not always understand them, but that's irrelevant. What matters is that they know their own worth, their own strength, and their unique place in the grand design. Pain is no longer just suffering. It becomes a teacher, a sculptor, and a bridge to the life they were meant to lead. If you're a Sigma female who's ever questioned why life had to be this hard, remember this. You weren't chosen because you're weak. You were chosen because you're rare, because you are capable of carrying weight that would break others, of rising again when the world expects you to stay down, and of shining your light even through darkness. Drop your story in the comments. Your words might be exactly what another Sigma needs to hear today. And if this spoke to your soul, stay here, because the next video is going even deeper into the spiritual side of the Sigma journey. Because this story, it's far from over. Every challenge, every rise, every moment of quiet strength is part of the ongoing journey of becoming the extraordinary woman you are meant to be.